Good evening and a warm welcome to State of Business, RTV's primetime business news bulletin. I'm Indivari Amwat. Here's a look at tonight's headlines first. President tells UN Secretary General Sri Lanka needs more time to solve issues. And UN chief says much work remains to be done to redress wrongs of past. A look at your stories in detail now. President Maithripala Sirisena says he informed the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon that Sri Lanka needs more time to solve its issues. He said that Sri Lanka needed a slow journey to find solutions for a conflict that persisted for 3 decades. The President disclosed these details during an interactive session with heads of media institutions in Colombo today. President Maithripala Sirisena said that he had an audience with the UN delegation headed by Secretary General Ban Ki-moon for about an hour, and later he had a one-to-one meeting to discuss the present progress of the country. The President told media heads that the UN chief was optimistic about Sri Lanka's progress and had stressed continued support for the government to achieve its objectives in the area of reconciliation.
එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ මහලේකම්තුමාගේ සංචාරය සම්බන්ධයෙන් බොහෝ සුබවාදී විදිහට තමයි අපි හැම විටම බැලිය යුත්තේ. මොකද එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ සංවිධානය සමග මම හිටපු පසුගිය රජය කටයුතු කළ ආකාරයේදී ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජය සහ එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ සංවිධානය අතර සුහදතාවය බිඳිලා තිබුණේ. එතුමා කිව්වේ නෑ මේ කිසි දෙයක් මෙච්චර කාලෙකින් කරන්න මෙහෙම කරන්න හදිස්සිය කරන්න මාස මෙච්චරකින් කරන්න 3 මාසෙන් කරන්න 6 මාසෙන් කරන්න අර වැඩේ මෙච්චර කාලෙකින් ඉවර කරන්න මේ පනත් මෙහෙම දාන්න මේ කොමිෂන් සභාව එහෙම කිව්වේ නැහැ.
United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon today said that Sri Lanka will need to have all 4 elements of post-conflict resolution: truth-attaining, accountability, reparations and institutional reform. The UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said this delivering the keynote address on sustaining peace and achieving sustainable development goals at a forum in Colombo today. The seminar was organized by the Lakshman Kadirgama Institute for International Relations and Strategic Studies. Ban Ki-moon commended the steps taken by the government to build confidence and trust in the people and to strengthen transparency and accountability in efforts.
Here in Sri Lanka, change was also on the way. Sri Lankan government that took office on 8th January last year, led by President Maithripala Sirisena, set out an ambitious reform program and has made significant progress in implementing them. I congratulate the government and people of Sri Lanka on passing the 19th Constitutional Amendment and the recent Right to Information Act. I commend your efforts to move forward on a comprehensive transitional justice agenda and on a constitutional reform process. I also welcome the symbolic steps you have taken, including the decision to sing the national anthem in Sinhala and Tamil.
Ban Ki-moon said that Sri Lanka is still in the early stage of regaining its rightful position in the region and in the international community, and therefore critical decisions should be taken to ensure human rights leading to sustainable peace and development.
There is still much work to be done in order to redress the wrongs of the past and to restore the legitimacy and accountability of key institutions, particularly the judiciary and security services. I commend the government's moves to restore the credibility and independence of the Human Rights Commission. Now it is time and important that the Commission receives the respect and resources it needs to carry out its work effectively. This is critical for reconciliation and for ensuring respect for the human rights of all Sri Lankans. I also urge you to speed up the return of land so that the remaining communities of displaced people can return home. And President Sirisena explained at length yesterday to me about his strong commitment of returning this land. In parallel, the size of the military force in the north and east could be reduced, helping to build trust and reduce tensions. To recover from the cataclysms of the past.
Meanwhile, later this afternoon, the UN Secretary General visited Jaffna. In Jaffna, he had discussions with Governor of the North, Reginald Kure, and opposition leader R. Sampanthan. Well, we take a short break. You can watch our television on Channel 127 on Dialogue TV. Welcome back. Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Vajira Vijay Gunawardena, says lack of participation at the capital market hinders its growth. Addressing an event at the CSE, he said that all stakeholders should get together to find a solution to this issue. Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission expressed these views at the 25th anniversary of Central Depository System held at the Colombo Stock Exchange.
Right now, I think there are about 587 CDS accounts. But to put it in context, carry out a transaction yearly. And when it comes to someone transacting on a weekly basis, I think the figure is about 8,000. So that really shows the lack of participation in the capital market. So this is something that, as the regulator, the stock exchange, and all other stakeholders, together we need to work to take our market to the next level and broad-base the capital market. So in that context, as far as the SEC is concerned, we are working on key initiatives along with the CSC to put a sound facilitative regulatory framework in place and also to enable the infrastructure.
Meanwhile, speaking here, the Executive Committee Chairman of Asia Pacific Central Depository Group said that global managing risks have become highly important in share transactions.
CSDs, we are facing a lot of new challenges. New regulations have been introduced to counter the systemic risks in the market. Regulators have put more emphasis on improving the risk management, default, fund and governance aspects of CSDs to make them more resilient in the face of future crises. Attracting foreign investors now requires CSDs to adopt international standards.
Renowned banker and public speaker Chandula Abewikrama says the economic inclusion of youth is vital to ensure sustainability of businesses of the country. He said this speaking at the CEO Network Forum organized by Art Television recently.
You know the challenges that we face during these 3 youth uprisings. And I think that is the responsibility of all of us to prevent a 4th youth uprising take place in this beloved country. Creating rightful balance between academic and education and vocational education is essential for economic engagement and inclusion. We need managers, doctors, engineers, farmers, masons, carpenters, plumbers, that kind of people. But the challenging thing is, if you want to talk about business sustainability, you have to prevent a 4th uprising taking place in this country.
For the full presentation Abewikrama made, you can join Art TV at 8 p.m. this Sunday. We take a short break. We'll be back with more after this on Stockwatch. Welcome back. Market ended the week on a mixed note, with turnover surpassing the 1 billion mark as foreign investors bought into Candie Hotels, Ceylon Tobacco and Chevron Lubricants, with the former having a large block amounting to 9 million shares, or rather 69 million shares transacted. The All Share Price Index dipped to 1.20 to close at 6,539.09, while the S&P SL20 Index gained 2.29 to close trading at 3,599.94. Turnover for the day amounted to 1.5 billion rupees, with 88.7 million shares traded. The top traded counters were Candie Hotels Company, Ceylon Tobacco, Chevron Lubricants, Ceylon Grain Elevators and John Keells Holdings. Foreign inflows amounted to 1.09 billion rupees, while outflows totaled 478.8 million rupees. And now we take a look at the day's foreign currency rates. And now we take a look at the dealing room update.
The US dollar rupee spot closed at 145.50 to 145.57 levels on Thursday, firmer than Wednesday's close of 145.55 to 145.60. The Sri Lankan rupee ended firmer on Thursday as dollar sales by banks on behalf of foreign investors to buy government securities. The forward rupee premiums were slightly increased compared to last week, where 3, 6 and 12 months recorded at 2.50 to 2.65, 4.90 to 5.10, 9.20 to 9.50 levels respectively. The interbank call money and repo rates were stable during this week. The call money market traded at 8.40% levels and overnight repo rates traded at 8.40% to 8.45% levels today. The market liquidity was at 16.12 billion levels as of Thursday. At the latest auction held on 31st of August 2016, the 3-month T-bills and 12-month T-bill rates were slightly reduced to 9.03% and 10.73% respectively, while 6 months were remaining the same at 9.94%. Secondary market bond rates were reduced across the board throughout this week due to the demand from both foreign and local investors. The 1st of March 2021 trading at 11.38%, 11.42% levels, while on the 1st of August 2024 and the 1st of August 2026 were trading at 11.93%, 11.97% and 12.06% to 12.10% levels respectively during the early hours of trading today.
That's all from the newsroom for tonight. You can tune in to channel 127 on Dialogue TV for more on RTV. Good night.